and somebody was looking for their loved one, and they shouted their loved one's name so loud. And I could tell by the tone in their voice, you remember? They were shout. I can tell by the tone in their voice that they were desperate to find this person, because it had like the shrill, you know, of like, help me somebody. And the person shouted as loud as they could. They said, Marco! And I told Pastor Liz, I said, it is requiring every fiber of my discipline to not shout back, Polo! You know, everything in me was like, I defied that person is scared. Don't mess with them right now. Everything in me to hold it back. I was like, Polo. Y'all remember the game Marco Polo? Yeah, y'all grew up here in Florida. You got pools, so you know about that game. Marco Polo. It's like, it's a pool game. And somebody says Marco, and then the person says Polo, and then Marco tries to catch Polo, but Polo tries to get away from Marco. And so we'll illustrate the game right here just so people can see what it looks like. So close your eyes. Don't cheat. You're a pastor. All right. Say Marco. Polo. Polo. Come, son. All right, time out. All right, that's how the game's played. I hurt my knee on that one. That's how the game's played. Marco Polo, all right? She says it, then she tries to catch me, and then I dodge. Here's why I bring it up, not just to be funny, because a lot of times that's how we think our relationship with God is. We can't see where we're going, so we call out. Then in response to his voice, we step out. But then when we step out, we fail to step in to the thing that he called us out to. And then we start wondering if he's playing games. And so this is how it works. Let me just illustrate it. She'll have a prayer. So Pastor Liz got a prayer. And maybe she's wondering if she needs to move to Orlando or move to New York. And she's stuck. She's not really sure. So she's going to pray, but she's not going to cry out Marco. She's going to cry out Jesus. So go ahead, cry out Jesus. Orlando. And so then we moved to Orlando, but the job that was supposed to be waiting for us when we got there is gone. And now we got no support system to help get us off our feet. Now we got no friends, and we can't go back home because the family was telling us not to move. And if we go back home, now I look like a failure. And now what happened? I stepped out in faith, and you weren't there. Or maybe she's stuck in deciding, you know, who to marry. And she got two options, Jesse and James. And so she tells the Lord, is it Jesse or James? Cry out, Jesus. Jesse. She's quick. It's the only way out. That's why you had to call off the engagement halfway through. Because you thought it was the one. You stepped out. And then when it didn't work out the way that you thought it worked out, you said, but God, I thought I heard your voice. Now, thank you so much, baby. You can look at them now. So now, when that happens, hear me, is usually one of two things if that happens. Number one, if that happens, listen up. Number one, if that happens, maybe you are somewhere that he didn't call you to be. Maybe when you were looking for a person to marry, you said, Lord, is it Jesse or is it James? Go ahead, Jesus. And you heard Jesse. Yeah, but it was actually JJ. And the reason why God didn't answer your question is because you gave him multiple choice. God don't answer multiple choice questions. If you got a prayer request, you better make it fill in the blank. You better make it fill it. You don't get to give God the options for your life. Here's what I want to do. God bless this. It's a fill in the blank prayer request. I'm gonna move on from that because that hit somebody hard right there. So, but listen, I don't think that that's the main reason why we haven't arrived. Honestly, I think you need to have more faith in the voice of God in your life. For one, I think you might have heard him just right. I just think you got caught playing the wrong game. We think God's playing Marco Polo, but God's not playing Marco Polo. He's playing hot or cold. Do you remember hot or cold? Come on. It's like you would hide a treasure somewhere in the room, and then the person can't see it, and they go looking for it, and you go hot, hot, cold, cold, ice cold, Antarctica. You're freezing, you're freezing, you're freezing, you're dead. Remember that game? So I think it works like that. And so we're gonna play the game one more time. Okay? All right, close your eyes. No, not yet. Stay right here. Just be patient. Okay, let's play the game. Cold, ice cold, Antarctica, you're freezing, freezing, hot. Ooh, why did you change direction? She said, because you weren't there. Because she still thinks we're playing Marco Polo. She had the right direction, but she had the wrong expectation. If she would have kept heading the way that I sent her, she would have arrived at the promise I made her. But because it didn't happen like she expected, here's how God told me to tell you, it's not your direction that needs to change. It's your expectation that needs to be challenged. It's your expectation that needs to be challenged. This is why people who were following Jesus at the time deserted him. They thought he was the Messiah, but then when he started hanging out with drunk people and prostitutes, and he started talking about dying on the cross, they all bounced. And Jesus is looking at them while they're leaving and going, no, you got the right Messiah. You just got the wrong expectation. This is why the Israelites abandoned Moses in the desert. He was talking about promised land. They crossed over the Red Sea and stepped into a wilderness. And then they said, nope. Because the desert is not, when I got saved, I did not expect to step into a desert. And because the expectation is off, we change direction. And God's like, no, you got the right direction. You got the wrong expectation. Let me make it more practical. Teenagers, I love you, and I'm so glad that you decided to follow Jesus. But if you're gonna decide to follow Jesus, you better have the right expectation when you go to school. Because people who follow Jesus are not popular in school. People who have values are not popular. People who believe in right and wrong are not popular. People who stand up for truth are not popular. So you got the right direction, but you need to adjust your expectation. Somebody here, listen, you grew up in church your whole life and you got these amazing church values, and now you are working in the most secular workplace in the world. I mean, you walk into your job and you feel the oppression. And it's super hard. You walked in on your boss accidentally sacrificing a goat one day. You were like, oh my God. And you're like, Lord, why did you raise me in church? Why did you give me this calling? I don't understand. I thought that I would be at least working at like a Chick-fil-A with like an ambiance with Christian music in the back. I thought at least I would do that. And God's saying, no, you got the right direction, but you got the wrong expectation. I didn't raise you up in church so that you could be in full-time ministry. I raised you up in church so that you could be a full-time minister in the business world with your suit and tie, preaching the gospel to everyone that you meet. I raised you up to be a healer so that as a doctor, you can pray for those who are sick and give them medicine. You had the right direction. You had the right direction. You just had the wrong expectation. Somebody prayed for somebody recently to get healed. And when you prayed, you stepped out in faith. You were like, Lord, I pray that you would heal them. I'm afraid because if they don't get healed, I'm gonna have to live with disappointment. But you did, Father, would you heal them? You prayed for them and they died. And now you go, you see? That's why I don't pray. And you're about to change direction. And God said, don't change direction. You had the right direction. You had the wrong expectation. You wanted them to get healed on earth. I wanted to heal them in heaven. You know why? Because they already knew me. So their relationship with God was good. It was your relationship I was trying to work on. And the treasure is not healing. The treasure is trusting. I wasn't trying to develop their immunity. I was trying to develop your faith. Can I be honest and transparent? You say that, but you don't want it. I think you would shudder if they knew all of me. All of me. And don't judge me, by the way, because if we knew all of you, we all put on our best self, you know? But I'll be 50% with you. And then next year, I'll preach about it. The other 50. That'll be the title of the message, the other 50. I asked the Lord for a vision for my life this year. And he told me, and I do this every year. I ask the Lord for direction. I said, Lord, give me a vision for this year, for my life personally. And the Lord spoke to me. He said, I want this to be the year you learn to pray. And I was super offended at the Lord. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know how to pray, Lord. I've been praying my whole life. My first word, some people's first words are daddy, mommy. My first word was Abba. My first word was Yahweh. I was like, Yahweh. That was the first word. I know how to pray, Lord, but if you say so, I'll take my prayer life to the next level. Babe, you can attest. You live with me, so I'm not fronting for these people trying to make a point. My prayer life this year, I've upped it in every way that I can. More time, more intentionality, more planning, more frequent, more passionate, any way that I can. I've been reading a book on prayer every month, different book on prayer. Just experimenting with different types of prayers, just taking it all in. Here's the honesty part. But the moment I did that, can you go over there again? On the other side. The moment I did that, the moment the Lord said, I couldn't see it, but he said, I want you to learn to pray. I said, okay. The moment I did that, here's the transparency part. 2022 has been one of the most difficult years of my life, personally. And I was so confused because it was the year that I felt like I was doing more things right than ever. So I stuck out. I said, okay, I'm gonna pray. And the moment I started praying, life got hard, like really hard. So then, because life was hard, guess how I had to respond? I had to pray harder. But then when I prayed harder, guess what happened? Life got harder. So now that life got harder, what do I gotta do? I gotta pray harder. But then when I prayed even harder, guess what happened to my life? There was no breakthrough. There was no deliverance. There was no blessings coming down from heaven that I could see in that moment. Life just seemed to get harder. And so I prayed harder, and now I'm here. I can't see where I'm going, but I'm here, and I'm so confused that I was about to change direction. And I said, Lord, I don't think I heard you right. He said, why do you don't think you heard me right? I said, because I prayed harder, and life got harder. This is what I told him. I said, I think I'm getting colder because it's getting harder. I think I'm getting colder because it's getting harder. And God said, no. It's getting harder because you're getting hotter. God told me to tell somebody today, it's getting hotter. You're getting hotter. Don't stop praying. You're getting hotter. Don't stop worshiping. You're getting hotter. Don't stop coming to church. You're getting hotter. Don't stop believing in miracles. You're getting hotter. Don't stop giving. You're getting hotter. Don't stop fasting. You're getting hotter. Don't stop prophesying. You're getting hotter. Don't stop laying hands on the sick. You're getting hotter. Don't stop believing for a miracle. You're getting hotter. Don't stop believing in people. You're getting hotter. Don't stop being kind. You're getting hotter. You're getting hotter. You're getting hotter. Keep coming. You are right at 6. You're right at 6. Keep going. One more worship song. One more fight. One more prayer. One more. You're almost there.